All right, let's do a little PPR Snake. All right, Fantasy AI, not normally PPR. I do more standard league when I using my stats, but hey, I can do PPR. I go get my stats here. I brought them down from CBS Fantasy Football PPR stats. Here you can see I got the running backs and the wide receivers. This is average per game, what they scored per game in an average. So we get a little thing there. We can rank them, and then we can graph them here by that average per game. You can see the little shelves developing where you have little groupings and drop offs. You know, you look at that first one. Well, Jamar Chase is in his own little grouping. We're going to throw Godwin out, of course, because he's an anomaly, didn't play the whole year. Right, and then you get that next little first little grouping in there. You can see about 5 or 6 in there, 5. And then there's another little grouping here after that one. And you can see where they're just dropping off. And by the time you get here to wide receiver 20, look at that. There's no change. You just zoomed in a little section there. You can see there's no change here going on for about 10 of the wide receivers. So you can go be doing something else and come back during that period. Here's the running backs. Wow. First one's quite a slope down. So if you don't get one of them first 5, you're in a party by yourself, or another party over here. You can see this next shelf here for the running backs. So they're grouping in there. And by running back 20, it's just no change. So after running back 20, you might as well, hey, 22, 23, 24, it don't matter. All right. So, all right. So we have these little grouping sections. We can see them here. We highlight them on. This is where they finished. You can see these little different groupings. Well, I was superimpose in the ADP, or this is the ADP, how they're being drafted right now, right? Well, I put this is how they like them. Let me go figure out how to rank my PPR top 20 so we know who I like in this grouping. All right, so I've ranked mine. Let me quickly run through those. I have Jamar Chase up first. He'd be number 1 by far. We saw the chart. Hey, he's in class by himself. I have Barkley number 2. He had a good year last year. Hey, I mean, odds are he doesn't do as good as he did last year, but hey, you know, things are set up good in Philadelphia, and he's the focal point. Had all those points last year. How about Gibbs is my number 3? All right. Just trusted team offense. Detroit's been one of the top. Yes, Ben Johnson's gone, but I still trust him. Get a little bit more of that pie too, possibly. Bring him in there. He's going to look good. How about Robinson is my 4th. So, I mean, he does add that receiving over Henry. So, I have Henry 5th just because you can see that receiving. All right. You get so much, a little bit more in PPR out of Robinson here, so I got him up before Henry at 5. I got Amon St. Brown coming in next at 6. Just really trust him over Jefferson here. I got at 7. I just trust Amon St. Brown here just a little bit more in the team. I just if Justin Jefferson wouldn't have had the hamstring, we had that little bit of hamstring scare. I would have probably went with him, but hey, Amon St. Brown solid these last few years. We'll just go with him, right? So, but hey, Jefferson's no slouch. So this is the order I would take him in a snake, right? Then at 8 here, I got Nico Collins and first up Nico here, right? I think Houston's going to get it together this year. I think that he was one of the top ones last year, but C.J. Stroud has that number 2 easy schedule, right? And Joe Mixon's banged up, and we're not really thrilled on this Chubb here from what we've seen. So the number 1 or one of the top defenses who are going to need some offense are going to have to get it through passing, and that's Nico. And he already caught a touchdown in preseason. Looks all systems go. I like Nico Collins. Kamara here, obviously, you just got to, you see that 543 yards receiving, almost go ahead 1,000 yards. Of course, the new coach scares us. So I moved him down a little bit, but hey, he's still pretty good there in this, where your receiving counts so much in PPR. So hey, T. Higgins and CD Lamb, I got at 10 and 11. All right, T. Higgins, well, hey, he had a great average last year. That fantasy average coming in, yes, he got cut short, right? I mean, he missed some games. If he don't miss those games, he's up a lot higher in that fantasy finish. So, hey, I like T. Higgins, and boy, hey, it's nothing like having Jamar Chase over here take all the pressure off. I mean, were they going to double team him and leave T. Higgins? Tough choices to make there for defenses. How about CD Lamb? Right? Well, at this point, CD Lamb, it just comes down to he plays them. Right? You got to have, I'm down a little bit on Dallas. They got a tough schedule, 32nd for Dak, 30th for CD Lamb. But hey, you got to, CD Lamb's been there, done that. I got Devontae Adams and Devon A-Chain coming in at 12 and 13. Yes, I have Devontae above Puka. Puka's just too big a risk, especially in these snakes, where you've got to have these top 2-3 rounds locked in, right? So I trust Devontae Adams a little bit more because, hey, he plays them all. I mean, just missed 4 games in the last 4 seasons. Touchdown leaders since 2020. He got we got Stafford back in practicing now. So right now he's back practicing. So I like Devontae. Trust him a little bit more, and we got to get the points out of there. So out of these snake, because hey, you get the 3rd and 4th and 5th round. Maybe that's what makes your team, but you got to get delivering these points in these top picks. All right, this season, keep an eye out for my Waiver Wire Tuesday show. All right, make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. I'll be doing waiver wires each Tuesday. Seen how much higher they are on that graph slide. The A-Chain, whoa, it's just this receiving, 600 yards receiving, 6 touchdowns, 1,000 yards. Hey, he is the focus there for them. So, I mean, you're safe with Devon A-Chain here at 13. Jacobs, and, of course, we're in Puka here. But Jacobs here, boy, we just like he's solid. He's been good here. Good 5th scoring team here. Middle of the road schedule, but the Packers just score so good here. You just got to have him in there. He gets the receiving too. He's no slouch at receiving. And I got Puka then next. He just plays so hard. I'm just worried about that. He takes himself out of game. It's every year now. Well, both years, but you see the major missing of games. And if that could cost you, yeah, he averages good when he's in there, but hey, I got to have safe picks in those first ones. And Puka's just not so safe. So I moved him down. Hey, at 15, you got to take him. If that's what it is. But hey, you can wait till then. I got Jonathan Taylor up next. He's just been there this whole time. Yeah, he's safe. So Jonathan Taylor's 16th. He does a little receiving too. That's down a little bit. He done a little more in the past. And Neighbors here, of course, I'm worried. I'm Neighbors in that toe management. I don't like to hear that. I went safe. So I've moved him down. 17th, I guess the risk reward is there. But that's why I have him ranked this way, as risk reward. And you don't think Christian McCaffrey, if all systems are going, all things, he's going to be fifth one on this list. But you got to balance in that, hey, look how many years he's been playing and look what we got last year. Sure, he'll bounce back, hopefully, but it's risky. Hey, if you want to shoot for the moon, you guys, you take him. But, right, meanwhile, Kyren Williams and Cook here, I have 18 and 19. Just good teams. Now I'm a little more excited about Kyren. If Stafford can there, hey, we got a little bit of time for your draft. So, but mixing them together like this, Cook up next. All right. So, hey, just they're going to deliver there for Buffalo. Great offense. 14, just to finish, he got paid. So we like him there. I talked about Christian McCaffrey. I'm just worried. This is PPR. He gets a lot of receiving. I know that, but hey, it's risk. All right. How about Mike Evans and Brian Thomas Jr. here? I got next at 20 and 21 and 22. Chase Brown. Genty here, 23, 24. Just, I mean, you've got to put them in where the risk reward is. Hubbard, Connor here. We're getting into the third round here. JSN, Drake London. Why does Drake London drop so much? Well, I'm worried. Hey, yeah, they had the 6 team last year. We were worried about Penix Jr. He isn't playing another preseason game. So you got, yeah, him of 3 games experience, right? 1 and 2 as a starter, 3 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and then it chose choosing not to play him in preseason. Let fans take a look. I just don't understand that. So Drake London's down where he is. How about O'Marion Hampton, Montgomery down here, 29 and 30. So that'd be out into 3 rounds. I don't plan to go too many in the simulation here out of the draft I'm going to do. But AJ Brown, this hamstring, worried. I think they said he just started repracticing. I don't know. I don't like. Hey, I moved him down. Worried. I mean, you'll get Devontae Smith a lot cheaper. I like Garrett Wilson down here at 33. McConkey, Bucky Irving here. He does do some receiving, but hey, this is about where he scored. That average wasn't so high as compared to these receivers getting points. I like Jameson Williams down here. J.K. Dobbins, 37. Tyreek Hill, 38. Diggs and Hall down here, 39, 40. Then you get some of these down here. You get where they're still the number 1 wide receivers on their team. The team just hasn't been scored. Their fantasy average is the standard, but PPR had just got a few more points. You can say they just ain't. They're the number 1s on the team, so that's why I got them ranked here. Hey, top of the 4th round, and Jacoby Myers and Travion Henderson. Got him here 44th. This is PPR. He's going to do some receiving. Jordan Addison. You don't sleep on him. He has a huge high average when he plays. And yeah, he's going to miss some games. And he turns into a machine if something happened to Jefferson. Right? And those high average he has is with Jefferson playing a lot of times too. DJ Moore I had. Swift down here at 47. Tony Pollard. Then I get the rookies. Taste of the rookies down here. Ibuka. I think he'd be my top wide receiver rookie. And then Ted McMillan. And Zach Charbonnet. Okay, there's a few on the list I don't have. But hey, I just don't trust them. So, all right, that's how the quick 50 is there. I got ranked, so let's put them to use. All right, so then I put my rankings in here. We had those sections before. Well, Jamar Chase was in his own section here, right? And then we had the second section where these running backs, they sloped down early. You had to get one of those in that first little 4 or 5 there. So I took those in my rankings there first before this next section of wide receivers here get a little bit less. You can see here than those running backs. So we get into that section next. I hit that up in there. And pretty well after that, these next 2 lower sections, you can see they pretty well depreciated about the same rate. So you shuffle them in like a deck of cards, and we pretty well got them all set here. Now, I did leave out of my rankings Chris Godwin. I don't know about that. Joe Mixon. If we get word before you draft, that might change. But, hey, why take a risk on these first picks? McLaren, I don't take holdouts, regardless if he signs. Just don't take him. Let someone else take him. And Kenneth Walker, I just don't trust. I just don't know. Just let somebody else. All right, and then the quarterbacks, I didn't really rank them earlier, but here's about where they went. So when we do our little simulation, I'll put those in. But 15th and 17th in one website and 21, 22 about the other in the ADP. So we'll put them in, and there's the snake. Here's my pick, so let's get started. Of course, number 1, by all means, is Jamar Chase, right? And Barkley should be number 2 in my book, And Gibbs comes in here at number 3. So those first 3 picks, pretty easy. You should feel pretty safe here. And Robinson here, we get those running backs early because they fall off after that. And The receivers come in next. We had Mon St. Brown here. Justin Jefferson came in. Nico Collins and Alvin Kamara here. And T. Higgins. All right, so that's the 10. If we have 10 in your league, you're snaking back the other way. Well, this guy double dipped and took a wide receiver CD, Lamb, and then Devontae Adams. I really like him. So the guy come back and took him. How about A-Chain here coming in next? That guy got a running back. Ooh, I like this one. Jefferson and Josh Jacobs. That'd be tough. And Puka, I mean, hey, I'm down on him, but hey, you'd take him there if you had to. How about Jonathan Taylor coming in next? All right, Malik Neighbors. I'm worried, but hey, you know, you got to take risk reward there. He'd come in next. Kyrene Williams and then James Cook here. And we're back almost all the way to the other end. And then hey, this guy, takes the first quarterback, Lamar Jackson. I'd have him number 1 quarterback, I think, this year. Hard to stop him. You got a little bit more to work with in Baltimore. Then this guy, wow. And then he gets McCaffrey. Probably will go earlier in real life, but hey, I'm down on him here a little bit. That would be a great risk reward there. How about Mike Evans coming in next for this guy? Had 2 running backs, needed a wide receiver, took one. Then this guy had 2 running backs, needed a wide receiver, took Brian Thomas Jr. there. How about get another quarterback in here? This guy had a running back and a receiver ready. Why not get his quarterback here, Josh Allen? At this point, we saw where there's not much difference in the ones you're picking. They'd already kind of slanted down to where all the good, really, really good ones of quarterbacks, hey, you know, they're always a good idea because you're not getting much variance in the wide receivers and running backs at this point. You got Joe Burrow getting taken, and then they come back and get Chase Brown here. All right, Chase Brown. Then we get touch a little taste of that Ashton Genty there. Hubbard comes in, you know. Hey, he's not too sexy, that Hubbard, but hey, you know, he gets the points. The focus of that Carolina team, really. And then Jaden Daniels, they can't resist. Getting a taste of that hot rookie last year coming in. And then O'Marion Hampton, they want a rookie too. Right? So anyway, that's a pretty pretend of the first 3 rounds. At least how I draft them. All right, let's take a look at this.